Okay, today we are going to look at graphing quadratic equations. So we're gonna look at a pattern that's we can use every single time. So the first part with quadratic equations, if we think about quadratic equation, it's x squared. So 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. So the quadratic equation gives us this pattern that we're going to use. So from 0 to 1 plus 1, 1 to 4 plus 3, 4 to 9 is plus 5, 9 to 16 plus 7. So we have this pattern 1, 3, 5, 7, but has that constant second difference of plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So that's what makes it quadratic. Now when we graph these, we're going to use that same pattern. So to graph them, we're going to use this 1, 3, 5, 7 pattern. So to graph, we're going to use we have the 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 5 pattern. So we're going to go plus 1, plus 3, plus 5, because that's the pattern that these numbers give us. We're going to use it to graph. Now we also have something called our vertex. So we're going to look at this word called vertex. And this is our starting point. So the vertex is the starting point. And the vertex, it tells us where our graph starts, and we can have either a horizontal shift. So we're going to look at vertex, the starting point. We can have a horizontal shift, and horizontal goes left to right. So this is left to right. Or we can have a vertical shift. So vertical shift. And this goes up and down. And then the graph, it makes a parabola. I'm going to put that up here. So the graph makes a parabola. So makes a parabola. And that's that U shape. So it makes that parabola, which is our U shape. All right. So we have our starting point, our vertex. The key thing is this 1, 3, 5 pattern. So we're going to look at a couple examples here. So the first one, get rid of it. So the first one, we have y equals x squared. This is our parent function. So this is the parent function. So because it's just y equals x squared, there's no other values with it. So the parent function. And the vertex, the starting point, the starting point is 0, 0. So it's 0, 0. So we start our graph at 0, 0. Now we use this 1, 3, 5, 7 pattern. So plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So what I mean by that is we have our starting point. We're going to go right 1 and then up 1. That's plus 1. Right 1, 1, 2, 3, plus 3. Right 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So notice how it's a plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So that's the pattern. That's a quadratic equation. So that's where we get that constant second difference, that plus 1, plus 3, plus 5 pattern. And what we know is that the quadratic makes a U shape. So we went right 1, up 1, right 1, 3, right 1, 5. Now we do the same thing to the left. Left 1, up 1. Left 1, 1, 2, 3. Left 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just connect our points. So it's that pattern 1, 3, 5. So just like in the table, it makes that 1, 3, 5 pattern. We have our 1, 3, 5 pattern. Now the next one, we have this it's x squared, but we have an extra plus 3 here. So this one, it's going to give us a vertical shift. Of, since it's plus 3, of up 3. Okay. So we have our vertical shift of up 3. So the vertical shift, since we're adding on to the end of x squared. So vertical shift of up 3. This is when we add or subtract onto x squared. So it's when we put it at the very end. So at the end. At the end. So we're just going to start, we're going to count up 3. So 1, 2, 3. Has a vertical shift of up 3, so we counted up 3. Now we still use this plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So we do plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So I'm going to go right 1 and up 1. Right 1, 1, 2, 3. Right 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it follows that pattern of plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. I'm going to do the same thing for the left side. Left 1, up 1. Left 1, 1, 2, 3. Left 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how it makes that U shape. So that was our vertical shift where we had plus 3 at the very end. And then the last one, notice how inside of a parenthesis it says minus 2. So this is our horizontal shift. Horizontal shift. So horizontal shift is inside the parenthesis. So it's inside the parenthesis. So since it's inside the parenthesis, we're either going to go left or right. So this is left or right. So left or right. Now, the key thing here, it's since it says x minus 2, so we're going to take that, it's going to be the opposite of whatever number we see. So since we see negative 2, it's always the opposite. So the opposite of the number we see. So we see negative 2, so that means we're actually going to go right 2. If it was positive 2, well, opposite of positive 2 is going to be left. So since it's an x, we see negative 2, so it's the opposite of negative 2, which is positive, so we're going to go right 2. So we're going to count right 2. And then we use that same pattern, plus 1, plus 3, plus 5. So we just need to find the different starting points, and then right 1, up 1. Right 1, 1, 2, 3. Right 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then since it's quadratic, we do the left side, left 1 and up 1. Left 1, 1, 2, 3. Left 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how we get our quadratic equation. It's just about looking at the different shifts. If we went up, the vertical shift up and down, the horizontal shift left and right. And we will practice these tomorrow.